Hi there and welcome to your 2022 Wildwood 353 Flfb. We're just going to start at the back end of the trailer here where you're going to find your plug-in. This is a 50 amp trailer, so just keep note of that notch there, the bottom notch, and this side metal piece lines up with the side metal piece here and the top notch there and the top notch there. It's just going to slide into place. You give it that little eighth turn to lock it in, and you have the threaded collar to really lock it down. Up from there, or right next to that, you have your cable satellite inlet, and right next to that, you do have your city water connection, which if you hook a garden hose up to here, it will pressurize your lines. You no need to run your water pump. The back right corner here, you're going to find a stabilizer jack as well as all four corners of the unit. It's just going to run. You're going to run these to the ground. It's just going to take any sway you see that's in the unit right now. In this compartment here is your storage compartment. This is also where you'll find your sewer hose. Take note of those two ears on there. It's going to connect with your sewer outlet. I'll show you that in a bit. This is also where you're going to find your 25-foot water hose and your 15 amp park adapter. Keep in mind, when you're running this 15 amp park adapter, you do only have 15 amps of power compared to the regular 50 amps this trailer has. So you're not going to be able to run things like your microwave, your AC, or your anything high amperage. Right here is where you're going to find your black tank flush. So the way this black tank flush works is while your black tank's connected to the sewer with the valve open, you're going to hook a garden hose up to here. Turn that garden hose on. It's going to flush out any debris left in the tank, kind of give it a little extra flush. That being said, down from here is where you're going to find your sewer outlet. You just give it that little turn there. You're going to see those ears there. They do line up with the ears on the PVC piping. You just give it that turn, locks it into place. Now whenever you're draining your sewer, we do recommend you always empty your black tank first and then your gray tank. Black tank's your dirtiest water coming from your toilet. Gray tank's going to be your clean-ish water coming from your sink, shower, stuff like that. Just keeps that hose a little more clean. Take a step down the unit. You'll find your fresh water tank drain. Just pull that, drain all your fresh water out. Another stabilizer jack in this corner. The front of the unit is where you're going to find your propane tanks. Typically, you could just undo these little quick tabs here. Open this up. You're going to find your tanks, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just take this off completely. You'll see here you got two 30-pound propane tanks. They work just like your barbecue propane tanks at home. You just open those up. Now you have propane running to the unit. You see this little green line here? That just is telling you have propane. If that is ever red, that means either your tanks are empty or there's something else going on. Behind those tanks is your battery box. Battery box is stored away under there. Take a step further down the unit. You got your patio door entry. You just, it has an assist handle. Pull that 90, spin it over. Hits like that. Fold these stairs out. This is locked from the inside and I don't have the key, so I'll have to show you outside that later. Just take a look at that stove vent there. You're always going to want to have that flap open whenever you get to your campsite, so that when you turn on your range hood, when you run your stove in there, it can evacuate those propane fumes. If you're ever traveling with the unit or leaving the unit for a while, you can close that up. Stops any animals or any dust from getting in there. Down here, you do have your furnace exhaust. Don't ever block this if you have the furnace running, because it blows out hot air, can melt your anything, whatever you put in front of it. Right next to that, you have another satellite inlet, as well as a plug and an exterior shower. Right below that is your fresh water, your fresh water fill. You fill this up, fills your fresh water tank, which is what your water pump draws off of. Beside that, you do have the water heater. I'll go over a reset procedure once we get inside. The button I refer to is just right here. Before you ever fire this up, you just want to give this little pressure relief valve a hit. If the tank was full, water would squirt out. The tank's currently not full, so you would never want to turn it on because you don't want to burn out any of the probes or anything that's in there. Right here, you have the back bedroom door. Same stairs work the same as they did in the front. You just fold them out. Open this door. Take a step on in inside. Right up on your left, you have your light switch on your left, which does your porch light. The switch beside that does the lights inside the bedroom here. This little button here does the slide out. You hit it down, the slide out will make its way out. You're going to know that slide out's fully extended when you hear the motors kind of go under load, and then the clicking. The clicking means you've reached their max stall. It's not going to go any further out. You can just let go of the button. So there you go. You heard those clicks. It's fully extended. Here you just got storage space. Right here, just take note, this is where your TV backer is, as well as your plug-in for the TV and your satellite outlet. Above the bed, you do have two nice little reading lights, as well as each side of the bed has a plug-in, two 110 plug-ins, as well as two USB plug-ins. These lights are just on their own little switches. This unit is pre-wired for a second AC unit. We don't have a second AC unit installed, so this thermostat isn't going to really do anything. But if you take a step on in here, you will find our second thermostat, which is hooked up to your front AC. So you just hit that button once. It's going to go to fan low. Now that's just running the fan on low speed. Then you get the fan high. That's running the fan on high speed. Now you're going to get into cool high. Cool high is now with air conditioning on high fan. Now you get into cool low. That's air conditioning on low fan. You get to cool low auto. So now this becomes an on-demand system. So it's going to kick in and out as it needs. Same thing with cool high, only running on the high fan. And then you get into heat. You're going to hear that furnace kick in. It does run on propane. Just keep note, whenever you turn this off, it's always going to run for about 3 minutes after, just like a safety cool down feature. You open up this door, you got your bathroom. Quite simple in here. Toilet, flushers on the right, hot and cold water sink, hot and cold water shower. In this cupboard here, you will find where you access your central vac, where you can change your bags, as well as your water pump that you can get to when you want to winterize the unit when you're done for the year. You can use it as storage, although I don't recommend it as there's a lot of wires and plugs in there you don't want to be messing with. If you take a look here, you're going to find your converter. You just pop that open. Here's your fuse panel. When a fuse pops, it's going to sit in the middle, or when a breaker pops, it's going to sit in the middle. So you just got to turn it off and then back on to reset it. And down the line here, you see all your fuses. Whenever a fuse pops, there's going to be a little red indicator light telling you which fuse popped. Take a step through the unit here for a second. You're going to come to your rear monitor panel. So you hit that button, whatever button you hit. So battery, for example, it's going to be full because we're currently plugged in. It's charging, but it'll go full, 2/3, 1/3, and empty. So you could do that for your fresh, your black 2, which isn't hooked up to anything, your gray, and your galley, but galley's also not hooked up to anything. Right here, you do have your water heater button. I'm not going to fire it up today because there is no water inside the tank. If you'd hit that button, you'd hear it's going to take a second. You're going to hear igniter go. If it doesn't fire on the first try, it's going to go 2 more times. It goes 3 times in total. If it doesn't light after the 3rd try, you're going to see a DSI fault light come on. At that point, you're going to go outside, hit that reset button, come back inside, and turn this back on to turn on the water heater. On your right, this light switch does your exterior awning light. This turns on your exterior speaker lights. This turns on your ceiling lights, but to get those ceiling lights to come on, you just hit that dimmer switch. If you touch and hold the dimmer switch, it dims the lights, so it'll go from really, really dark, and it's gonna go to its brightest setting. This little light switch here is gonna turn on your ceiling fan. Then the slide out button, it's going to work the same way as it did in the front bedroom. The rear bedroom, you're just going to sit there, hold that button. Once it reaches its full extend, you're going to hear those clicks and you just let off. I'm just going to open up this patio door here for us. This button here is going to do your awning. You just hit that extend button. The awning's going to make its way out. The way you're going to know this awning's fully extended is you're going to see the little flap hang down, and then you're going to see the back of the metal tube. That's when you know you're fully extended. Make sure you don't go any further than that, because it will overroll itself, and then I'll see sometimes that flap gets stuck, so you just got to retract it and go back down. There you go. You see that back of the metal tube. Now if it ever starts raining, you just take this arm, pull it down. It's going to change the pitch of the awning head. Now if you do like that better because it allows more shade, you do the same thing to the other side. Just always remembering before you bring it in to bring that arm back straight. That way you don't run the risk of bending anything. Now, whenever you get to about 10 to 15 kilometer an hour winds, you're going to want to bring that awning in just so, again, you don't run the risk of bending your arms or ripping your fabric. Whenever you're bringing it in, just always watching it, making sure that it's rolling up the right way in. That way you don't trap in any water or moisture. There you go, fully in. Take note of that fire extinguisher down on your left there. That's simple, pull the pin and shoot. Right here is where your TV backer is for the main TV, as well as your satellite inlet and your plug. Take note of this little button here. That green light comes on. That means you're turning the antenna on the roof. It will also improve your radio frequency. Radio, just like home. Zone 1 is interior speakers. Zone 2 is exterior speakers. You do have this nice little fireplace. You got a power button. Next to the power button, you got your flame color. Next to that, you have your rock color. And next to that, you have your low heat, high heat. And then you have a timer. It goes anywhere from 30 minutes all the way up to 9 hours, I believe. Then you just hit that power button, turn it off. This couch is a pull-out couch. Pulls into a bed. The way that works, you just pull this out. Sorry, you gotta pull the feet out. Pull these feet out. It's gonna fold down. Move these cushions out of the way. Fold the back of the couch down, and there you go, you have your bed. To put it back, you just lift that back up, move these cushions out of the way, lift the end of the bed up, fold the legs in, and it folds back up, nice and easy. Put those cushions back. Take note of where we have the chairs here that belong in this front corner. If you don't put them the way they are now, You can't bring your slide in. The slide will contact the chairs and you can break stuff. You have your fridge here. Now this is a 110 fridge. It will not work while you're plugged in. You have a microwave. Down from there, you do have your stove. That works simple. You just take these knobs, turn them to the light, hit the igniter. Now, whenever you leave the unit for a while and you have the propane off and you turn it on, it takes a minute to get that air out of the lines. There you go. Lights on up. To turn the stove on, you do have to hit this switch down. Down turns on these knob lights and the oven light. To get that to light, you just turn this knob to the pilot button, to the top pilot option. Hold that down for a few seconds. Sometimes, again, this can take a while to get the propane through to that orifice. But you just hit that igniter and eventually it will come on. Just giving it a second here. Like I said, sometimes it takes a minute to get all the air out of the line. Hit that sparker. Pilot light comes on. Give it a second. And then you can turn it up to your desired temperatures and it lights on up. Just turning it off. You got two switches here. The one does the underglow for the kitchen area. The other does the underglow for the light above the slide out. You got your kitchen sink, hot and cold water. You do have GFI plugs inside this unit, so whenever you have a plug that doesn't work, always just double check the GFI, hit that reset button, and it'll reset itself. Try the plug again. That's about it for this unit here. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call.